If your books are a mess, that could be very, very overwhelming as a business owner. As a therapist, you are really great at what you do. However, the organizational part, the tax side of things might not come very naturally to you. The good things is that if you haven't been doing your bookkeeping, or you have been doing your bookkeeping and they're kind of a mess, is that it's fixable. We could fix that. I'm going to go over a few steps that you should take in this video. That way you could get things back in order. You make sure that you're in the right path. Before getting started, my name is Jeanette Andrada. I help therapists focus less on taxes and focus more on their clients. I wanted to add that I'm currently working on a project. It's a course for therapists, and it's to go over QuickBooks, how to set QuickBooks up, how to maintain it, how to manage it. So if you're interested, make sure to leave me a comment down below or like my channel, so that way I know that this is something that you guys are looking for and that you guys would find useful. A good place to get started is to first organize all your financial documents. By that I mean just gather everything. Start gathering all your bank statements, receipts. If you invoice, get those invoices, any other financial records that you might have. Make sure you're gathering everything and you have some type of organization system. I have met people that they like to use Google Drive, where they just scan things and then they just throw them in a folder, which is perfectly fine. And preferably, I would actually sort them by date and create folders for each month and each year, just for simplicity. If you ever needed to pull those receipts, you know exactly where to go, and you have, everything in the folder, for that month or for that year. So I really recommend that. Now that you have all of your financials organized and gathered, you want to go ahead and start reviewing and categorizing your expenses, right? This is where the bookkeeping starts coming into play. You're going to want to go through every transaction on your bank statement and match them to the corresponding receipts or invoices. You want to make sure that you are keeping your business and personal transactions and accounts separate. This is going to be so challenging and time consuming if you are mixing both personal and business. So that should be your rule number one. As soon as you get started, make sure to open up those bank accounts. If you haven't, stop it. Don't do that. That's messy books. That's not a good business practice. Categorizing all these expenses is going to make it easier for you to see how your business is doing, how much you're spending on each specific category, and it's also going to help you with your taxes, because now you know that when you write certain expenses off, you could write those Amazon Target expenses on the office expense line item in the tax return. If you're new, a spreadsheet might work best for you. It'll be easy to just create one that has columns with the date, vendor, what the purchase was for, and the amounts that it was for. So that way you have everything in one place. A spreadsheet is like a really good place to start if you don't really have a lot going on. Eventually, going something to QuickBooks is absolutely recommended, because it gets harder and harder to keep track of everything, and there's always user error. So we'll get into that in the future. The next thing you want to do to clean up your books is to actually reconcile your accounts. This is the step that I see missed all the time, like 9 out of 10 times, and probably even like 9.5 out of 10 times. My clients, before working with me, do not reconcile their accounts. This is very important because you want to make sure that what you're saying is true. Reconciliation sounds like a big word. It's not. All we're doing is comparing what you have listed out versus your bank statement. So if you went down your bank statement and there was an extra Target expense on your bank statement than you have on your records, then now you missed, a $40 expense that you could have written off, or that you should be able to write off for the business. So you would simply reconcile it, see if there's anything missing, or if your spreadsheet or your records show that you have extra expenses that are not on your bank statement. You want to just make sure everything is matching up. What you're saying is true on the actual bank statements and credit card statements. Honestly, the best way, in my opinion, is to use accounting software. It's really going to make things easier for you, for your taxes, for sure. You're going to be able to actually generate financial reports, and you're not able to do that with the spreadsheet. You have to manually create a financial report, which is what's used for you to see how the business is doing, but also so you could file your taxes with ease. So make sure to look into an accounting software. It is an expense. I'm not going to lie. It's something that almost feels like you don't need to have that. However, it's, in my experience, it ends up being costlier trying to jump on later on than just doing it right away when you first get started. Now, finally, if you're struggling to get your books in order and it's just something that's way over your head, you don't have time for it, you don't want to do it, then consider seeking professional help and hire a bookkeeper or an accountant. As a bookkeeper and accountant myself, I know that I'm able to help you identify issues and provide guidance for you. There are times that you might not know. You don't know what you don't know. So if hiring a professional will help you identify any things that you might be missing. If you have messy books, it does require time, it does require an effort and attention to detail to get things where you want them to be. Now, if you follow my steps, if you make sure that you start with organized receipts and paperwork and categorize everything on an Excel spreadsheet and reconcile. Don't forget to reconcile the accounts to make sure that you're able to correct any errors or you're able to find any discrepancies. So if you follow those tips, then you will be able to clean your books, and from there on, just make sure to maintain it. If you're not maintaining it every month, it's easy for it to kind of get out of control. If you feel like you need more help and you need professional help to get you to a great place with your bookkeeping or your taxes, or you just want to outsource all of that, please reach out to me. My link is in the description. You could schedule a free 15-minute session with me where I go over all your business situation and your tax situation, and I'll tell you a little bit more about what we do and how we could help you and determine, if it's a good fit for us to work together. Thank you again for watching. I will see you next time.